How do folks, it's my first trip to Yorkshire Dales 2025 and I've just left the little hamlet of Ireby, not far from Ingleton, Burton in Lonsdale, that sort of area. I've just left the lane back there and now I'm on this pretty rutted track that's going to lead me to a road which I've got to follow, I think, for about 1.5 miles, and that's going to take me up into the hills. I like this area, it has an old feel about it. I'm on this old lane now and I don't know, it just has a feeling of age about it, and there's a lot of fine mature trees. It's a long time since I've walked around here. I bet it's nice along here in a couple of months. Bluebell shoots here. Well, if everything goes according to plan and I can summon up a bit more enthusiasm to sustain me, that on the skyline is sort of tonight's objective. An old milestone, boundary stone here, very faint writing. It looks like the last bit of the top word is something worth, Butterworth maybe. I'll check the maps after. I'm walking up this lane now and right into the teeth of the gale. The wind's blowing hard, harder than we forecast, I think. But the reason I picked this location, well, part of the reason, that I think from memory there's a wall on the top and hopefully that'll give me some shelter, because without that I'd be goosed. I need to get some water hereabouts, and there's one or two like little runnels marked on the map, but we're on Carboniferous limestone here, which is permeable. I'm not finding any surface water. On the map higher up there's something called Rumbling Hole, I'm guessing some sort of pothole, and there looks to be a stream running into that, but we'll have to see when we get on ground. Look at this here, semi-capped off. This is a nasty looking pothole. Now look at this, I've got a problem here. I'm really struggling for water, but there's definitely running water down that cleft, but it's whether I can get my way down. Hard. Well, with hindsight, it was a bit foolish getting water like that where I did. It weren't that deep, that cleft, but it were icy and slippy and I could have fell and banged my head or something. And when I got into the bottom of it, there were no... I could hear running water, but you couldn't access it. It was behind boulders and stuff, so I ended up just sat there ages filling up my water bottle from water dripping off the limestone. Well, we can go further along that way and then cut up a lesser slope, but there's a feature up here that I want to show you, just sort of over that skyline. These are the three men of Gregareth. Three gaunt figures that share my lonely world. I remember this from last time. It's a right slog, this. It's steep up to the three old men, and then it's more gradual and long here. And there's 2 or 3 false summits. Right, well I'm sat by its summit wall now, trig point's just over there in front of me. I'm just going to give it half an hour or so before I put the tent up. I've just had an hard boiled egg, something to eat, but it's bloody chilly up here. I'll be glad to get the tent up. Oh, at last. Nearly sorted. Do you know what I can smell? Fox. Scent mark fox. Quite like that smell, it's like a musty smell. Oh, lovely brew. Oh, so nice. Look at these wiggly marks on this rock in the wall here. I think these are trace fossils, i.e. like worm casts. You know, like you get lugworms on a modern beach today. Oh, it's so cold. I'm ducking down at the back of this wall. My nose is running like mad and I keep nearly losing my fiddle strings. Yeah, it's freezing. Yeah, I've just come from for a walk along this like summit ridge. It's a fantastic ridge walk over my shoulder, northwards. You go over Blakemire, Green Hill, to Great Cown, which is the highest point on the ridge. That's a good hill, that overlooking Dale. Did that years ago, me and Kathy. Before we had kids, we had a few days camping in Dale. Brilliant, lovely sunny day that, in May time. But yeah, it's bitter cold today. Different kind of cold from my Saddleworth Moorwalk. That was like an icy cold. This is like a wind chill cold from east. Really sucks all any sort of warmth out of you. Oh, look at that, it's rock solid. Right, I'm back at the tent. Sun's, well, not getting a sunset, it's sort of sinking behind a low bank of cloud. Quite a nice sky, I suppose. But I'm going to get in tent now, I think, and that'll be me done till morning. This down jacket that I'm wearing, it's actually a woman's. It belonged to my mum. My mum always hated winter. She didn't like being cold or anything. And about 5 years ago, I said, get yourself a nice down jacket for winter. Anyway, I said, right, you pick me one. So I picked her this one. I think I got it from Trek It in Hereford. I bought quite a bit of stuff from them. I quite like them. Anyway, she loved it, this jacket, but unfortunately, she never really got to enjoy it. She died about a month after she got it. So ever since then, I've worn it, and it's better than mine. Even though it's like it's a woman's, it packs smaller, it's lighter. I think it's warmer as well. Yeah, I really like this jacket. I saved this one for best, like for wild camping trips, and I wear my old one just for knocking about. I've been reading this. This is my favourite Wainwright guide, Walks in Limestone Country. I've had this years. And I'm just checking, because I've not said where I've been today. And, well, apart from mentioning the three men of Gregareth, I'm on Gregareth. Although I pronounce it Gregareth, Uncle Pete pronounces it Gragareth. So I'm not sure which is the right pronunciation there. And I'm just checking, there's like a walker's log we can log whenever you've done the walks in this book. And I did Gregareth the last time, and it was my first time with Lee on Saturday the 26th of April 2002, and I remember on that walk it's pretty much the route I've done today. Loads of primroses in the hedge bottoms and by the side of the lane. It's really nice. I mentioned earlier when I was at the three Oud Men of Gregareth, the cairns on the way up, and I quoted a bit from Wainwright. I think he really excels himself with this book, and I'm just going to read you a little passage about the three men of Gregareth.
This is what Wainwright says. I forgot my reading glasses. Well, I've lost my reading glasses, so I'm struggling a bit. How much more satisfying and how much more inspiring are the rugged cairns built by lovers of mountains than the smooth concrete columns erected by the makers of maps. The first have individual character, the latter, conforming to a pattern, have none. The three men of Gregareth have been a notable landmark for many generations, even earning recognition by name on ordnance maps. They stand on the edge of a rash of stones at the top of the steep rise overlooking Leckfell House, the occupier of which must feel a proprietary interest in the gaunt figures that share his lonely world. It's brilliant, isn't it? The gaunt figures that share his lonely world. I remember Lee really liking that when we came up in 2002.
But she had quite...
This is a good idea, you know, putting your dehydrated meal while it's warming up down your front. Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, look at the, well, you can see behind me. Tent's flapping like mad. The wind's from southeast supposedly, and this wall should be fine in that respect, but it seems to be finding a way through, round, over. Supposed to get up to 49 mile an hour tonight, and at some point it's meant to swing round to more southerly where the wall's not going to do anything there. But that's supposed to be tomorrow, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, I enjoyed them spicy noodles, were quite nice. I'll have them again. Yeah, so how's today panned out? Well, I've had that usual thing where I struggle getting out of the house this morning. I packed my bag yesterday, but when it comes to crunch, it was cold outside, and I thought, oh, I could just light the fire, have a brew, read my book, wait for some better, warmer weather. But as I was driving further north, I started to pick up, and by the time I got to Tickle Trout, I was quite looking forward to it. But when I stepped out at car at Ireby, it were bloody fleeing. I thought, ooh, I don't like this. And trees were blowing about. But same, as I got further on, I got more and more into it. One thing I should say, that stupid place where I got my water, if I'd have carried on a bit further, there was a nice stream that come right under the road and that, so I know for next time not to go scrambling about in dangerous potholes and stuff trying to get water. I know a reliable place now. But yeah, coming up here, it were good. Once I got the tent up, and even in these cold conditions, I wrapped up. It was nice to spend some time outside. No, it's been good up here. I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's a bit of a pudding basin thing, and it's a bit shapeless compared to say Ingleborough, Pennygent and that. But no, it's good up here. So tomorrow, I'm gonna go straight, sort of follow this wall south, and then I have to get over it some. I'm hoping there's a stile, and then I come on to, I think it's Ireby Fell. And then I've just got quite a long descent that'll take me back to Ireby, but pretty straightforward descent tomorrow. So what time are we on? 20 to 10. I don't think I'll be long out of bed. So I'll say good night, God bless, and I'll speak to you in the morning.
Morning folks, it is, hang on, nearly 5 to 7. Not had a bad night's sleep really, especially considering this wind and the temperatures. Water in the tent porch has froze again. Yeah, I think, what was it, lights out about 11, and then I think I woke up about 4. Struggled a bit since then, but 11 till 4, I'll take that on a wild camp. Right, I'm just going to have a brew, and I'm going to start packing down and get on my way. It's still very, very windy. Just check the skies outside. It's clear spells, cloud and that, but at least it's dry, I suppose. I can't stop filming and photographing Ingleborough from this angle. See if you can see it here. Where is it? on you. Look at that. Not very good with this camera. But it just looks fantastic. It really does look like Kilimanjaro. Just in this valley behind us, I took a picture of it. It's quite an interesting feature. It's called Kingsdale. And the bottom of the valley is really flat, long, narrow, flat area, and it just looks like it was once an old lake. And it's bounded on all sides as well. I think there's well, apart from a little stream outlet, but at lower down the valley there's like a moraine, so probably a lake that remained at the end of the Ice Age. Where I've done this trip, I'm walking in the land of my forebears. Can't remember how many greats, 4, 5, 3. So many great grandma, Mary Swanbank, came from Burton in Lonsdale, just down here. And it was quite a long-winded story that helped me discover that. In the 1980s, a bloke called Eric Hitchen got in touch with the family saying, I've done a family tree with your family on it. My grandma's maiden name was Hitchen, so that was a connection. And this were pre-internet days, so quite an endeavour really. Anyways, I got older and got on the internet. I'm always into family history. So I got in touch with, don't know whether it was the same bloke or another Hitchen, and he produced a family newsletter for people on the Hitchen family tree, so I subscribed to that. And he also told me there was a couple of errors, well, one in particular on the family tree that Eric Hitchen gave us in the 80s. This so many great grandma on this family tree called her Mary Swithenbank. Anyway, her real name was Mary Swanbank, and she lived at a place called Bleak Barton. Now with Google and stuff like that, could I find, it said Bleak Barton, Yorkshire, could I find this Bleak Barton? Absolutely nothing, couldn't find anything on it. I thought, that's weird. So then, I got in touch with a Yorkshire Dales family history Facebook page, and I just said, does anyone know where Bleak Barton is, or know anything about a Mary Swanbank? Anyway, this woman got back to me almost immediately. She says Bleak Barton is a misprint, it's Black Burton. And Black Burton was a local name for Burton in Lonsdale, and it was called Black Burton because there was a thriving pottery industry there, and there had been for centuries. So the black would be from the smoke and the soot. But yeah, she ended up, the poor bloody woman, ended up coming to Rochdale from here. She married one of the Hitchens, and I think I've read somewhere that he was like a travelling sort of cloth salesman or something like that. He travelled, so maybe he travelled up here, met her, whisked her off her feet, and then took her further south into Lancashire. But this woman on the Yorkshire Dales family history page told me a bit more. She said Mary Swanbank pops up again in Rosendale, and she's on her own with kids receiving like poor relief, so whether she's in workhouse or something. It sounds like a right bloody ne'er-do-well, this Hitchen. Anyway, he obviously got back together. I don't know where he'd gone, maybe we're travelling about, and they ended up on a farm in Milnrow, about half a mile where I live. And this all happened, I think, was she born about 1805, Mary Swanbank. So a couple of years ago I came up to Burton in Lonsdale and had a look round the churchyard, see if I could find any family graves. Lovely church and churchyard, really nice views of Ingleborough from it. Anyway, I didn't find anything, but there's quite a few little villages and churches hereabouts. It's something I'm gonna do again. See if I can find something, maybe in some of the bigger churches in Ingleton, Higher Bentham or something. Oh, brilliant, I've just flushed 2 woodcock. Bird I was kind of hoping to see on this trip, really. God, and Bennett, am I going to get under here? This sort of habitat, in this clough coming off the moor, this scrubby sort of gorsy clough, is perfect for wintering woodcock, so yeah, I'm pleased with them. Proper interesting little ravine this, even though it's a bit uncomfortable to walk in places. Apart from the woodcock, the geology is interesting. Notice back there, some of the rocks and soils are very, very sort of deep red in colour, russety and reddy orange. Anyway, I've just had a look on internet, and the part of a, what's happening here? I think I'm blocked off. Part of a group called the Appleby Formation, I think, and the Permian in age. Didn't know we had any Permian stuff around here. Right, I'm just on this tarmac road now that leads up to Overhaul, that lovely house that I filmed back there. What a gorgeous property that is. I remember it last time when we did this walk. We used to have a date over at Dover and all, but you can't get too near it, so I'll have to bring my binoculars next time. Yes, I'm very satisfied with that trip. I mentioned last night that I was struggling a bit with my enthusiasm levels, but no, I'm really glad I come out. Fantastic there up on Gregareth. That bitter easterly wind, it felt like you're up on tundra. And fantastic views to Ingleborough. So yeah, I'm almost back at the car. So I'll bid you farewell. And thanks for watching. Look after yourselves. And I'll see you next time.